You're watching TVC Breakfast. Mining experts in Nigeria are seeking a ban on the importation of barite, one of the many mineral resources in Nigeria.
They say a ban will enhance its exploration and assist government in economic diversification. Jokadisa reports.
Barite is a mineral consisting of barium sulfate, typically occurring as colorless prismatic crystals or thin white flakes. It is used as a pigment in paints, as a weighted filler for paper, cloth or rubber, as a weighting agent for drilling muds, and for petroleum well drilling, among other uses. Nigeria is one of the African countries that boast of vast deposits of the mineral, but these practitioners are concerned that its importation is hampering the effective exploration and economic gains of the product. They crave for government support.
One of the principal things we are going to do for this great country is to unbundle Barite from the mud contract. Barite is a major, Nigeria is the largest, has the largest deposit of Barite in Africa. There's no funding to engage in the exploitation of this great resource that we have in this country.
Indeed, between 2003 and 2014, Nigeria banned the importation of barite in an effort to stimulate development and the use of domestic barite resources. But agitations from oil companies led to the lifting of the ban in 2014 on the ground that local production struggled to meet API specifications and desired volumes. Now, government says it is ready to put in place enabling laws to guarantee the operations of local miners.
We do have all it takes in this country to change the narratives. And I believe that the barite, we are trying to run a structure that will be of benefit, great benefit to your team members if you are well organized.
So we get the price internationally and you are willing to match that price. It's a simple executive order that which is part of the local content thing, that make sure that nobody imports barite again, if you guys can meet that demand.
The practitioners are quick to warn that continued importation of barite will bleed the country's economy and guarantee loss of the few available jobs. The government recently launched its economic recovery and growth plan, and mining is one of its main targets. Jokadisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, joining me now is a journalist to talk more on this, Dari Udufokon. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. Now, the government is looking at banning the importation of barite because Nigeria has the deposit in large quantities. But when you look at this critically, have we explored, the barite quantities rather that we have in the country, so to speak, to meet the demands such that it will stop the importation?
The issue of banning importations is not just about barite. It involves a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And then one of the first excuses we usually make is, are we sure we can explore what we have to meet the demand? The question first should be, have we even bothered to find out what we have? The deposit of these resources in our own country, do we know the quantity in the first place?
It's said to be in 24 states.
Have we carried out the survey to know whether if we concentrate on properly, exploring this and putting it to use, are we sure that the demand actually in the country is more than the supply we have? No, we have not done all this. Rather, you see, we are a country that enjoys shortcuts a lot. The shortcut to exploring our own resources is importing from others who took pain to explore their own.
But do we have the structures in place for local miners to explore the deposit that we're even talking about?
Now that we as the government or we as a country do not have the structure, as you say, some local miners
said we do not. I'm saying, do we even have?
Well, that's a question for all of us to answer. But I want to tell you that some local miners are mining barite in this country illegally. Just like many miners are mining gold all over the country, in Ilesha, in Zamfara, in Jigawa. They're mining gold illegally. These are things that if the government puts its acts in order, the structure will emerge. Rome was not built in a day. But you must know that the building of Rome started on a particular day. Until we start, we'll keep saying these things don't just happen. But these things start. And when they start, they happen.
Looking at the function or the uses of barite, do we really understand the essence of exploring and perhaps taking advantage of this, knowing that we know there are importation and we want to ban, and now where do we begin? Seeing that barite has so many uses. It can be used for x-rays and all of those. Where do we begin if we are to address this issue?
Just when we ask ourselves this kind of questions, rather than it helping us to really address the issues, we use it as a way of getting away from the reality. If we don't understand the importance of barite, why are we importing it? It's simple. Certain sectors of our economy, certain sectors of our national life already know the importance of these mineral resources, and that's why it's being imported. And if it is not being imported in quantity that affects the local users, we won't be talking about banning. The users themselves, as well as the local miners here in Nigeria, understands that a quantity of this, a good quantity of this is being imported into our country on a yearly basis or monthly basis. Now, why don't we explore the deposit as it is in our own country? And then we just need to look inward. The use is there.
We have to leave it at this point. Thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, mining experts in Nigeria are seeking a ban on the importation of barite, one of the many mineral resources in Nigeria.
They say a ban will enhance its exploration and assist government in economic diversification.
The mineral consisting of barium sulfate, typically occurring as colorless prismatic crystals or thin white flakes. It is used as a pigment in paints, as a weighted filler for paper, cloth, or rubber, as a weighting agent for drilling muds, and for petroleum well drilling, among other uses. Nigeria is one of the African countries that boast of vast deposits of the mineral. But these practitioners are concerned that its importation is hampering the effective exploration and economic gains of the product. They crave for government support.
One of the principal things we are going to do for this great country is to unbundle barite from the mud contract. Barite is a major, Nigeria is the largest, has the largest deposit of barite in Africa. There's no funding to engage in the exploitation of this great resource that we have in this country.
Indeed, between 2003 and 2014, Nigeria banned the importation of barite in an effort to stimulate development and the use of domestic barite resources. But agitations from oil companies led to the lifting of the ban in 2014 on the ground that local production struggled to meet API specifications and desired volumes. Now, government says it is ready to put in place enabling laws to guarantee the operations of local miners.
We do have all it takes in this country to change the narratives. And I believe that the barite, we are trying to run a structure that will be of benefit, great benefit to your team members if you are well organized.
So we get the price internationally, and you are willing to match that price. It's a simple executive order that which is part of the local content thing, that make sure that nobody imports barite again, if you guys can meet that demand.
The practitioners are quick to warn that continued importation of barite will bleed the country's economy and guarantee loss of the few available jobs. The government recently launched its economic recovery and growth plan, and mining is one of its main targets. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Joining me now is the Business and Technology Advisory, Adekunle Akindeji. Adekunle, good morning. It's nice to have you join me right now.
Good morning.
Now, there has been the talk on the diversification of the Nigerian economy from oil so that there can be, other streams of generating employment and generating revenue. And solid minerals was one of those that in the last dispensation of this same government, there was some level of effort in trying to see how attention can be on the issue of mining and then bringing up the right policies. How much can that go when it comes to the issue of the contribution of solid minerals to the idea of diversification?
Thank you. I mean, it's a huge, huge opportunity and a space that Nigerians and Nigerian government needs to play into. It's one sector that has the potential to stimulate and turn around the economy of Nigeria. If you look at the manufacturing sectors, you would realize that a lot of what is needed come from that particular space. Whether it's energy minerals, whether it's construction minerals, whether it's whatever sector you want to think of, fine stones, you find it out there. So I think that it's a good thing, and I think that it's a place that the government should look into. Whilst that is being said, I also believe that we need to begin to put in policies to help to make this come into fruition.
All right. Even locals understand, locals who may not even be educated, understand what it takes and how to mine locally and crudely mine these things. If you're traveling from within Nasarawa State to Niger State to even part of Abuja, Zamfara State, Kebbi State, even the Ekiti and Osun State, and even Ondo State, you have a lot of these mining. In Plateau State, in Jos, for instance, all of these things take place. Now, when it comes to getting the private sector that can really invest into it, like South Africa or Namibia or Zambia are doing, what would it really take?
So you start from the framework as to how it should work. Okay. So when these start, most of these examples you have given are people who are quote and unquote mining illegally. Because you require a license to be able to do that. So there's a bureaucracy of trying to get a license. There's a technical training or know-how that is required. Right. Companies and organizations will require this as their raw materials, want it in the finest format or standard. Until you're sure that you can meet that standard, it becomes a difficult game to play. Right. Hence, the need for them to go outside to buy or to bring in some of this.
There's also the talk about finding a consistent market, a ready-made market that you can channel all of those things into. Oh, we have to leave it here now. Adekunle Akindeji, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.